Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on a topic which is right now is getting debated amongst the Indian social media users a lot, which only give me this idea that we can connect this debatable topic through Vedic astrology as well. So guys, I'm sure that people in the West, they might not be knowing about the topic which I'm saying here. So recently in Mumbai, in Bollywood, this movie got released, Oh My God 2, featuring many big names of Bollywood. So this movie actually brought to light a very sensitive topic which within the Indian mindset and culture and community is not very widely spoken about, and the repercussion of that or the after effects of that is something which we all have to face the heat of. So guys, I will simplify it in a very simple language. So this movie which is based on a plot where sex education is not given very utmost priority amongst the traditional communities, and the heat of that is that when teenagers and children in adolescent age, when the hormones are changing, their body is changing, and without being well guided by their mentors, by their teachers, by their parents, they sometimes get distracted or they get lost in their life, and they made some wrong choices as well. So the synopsis of this movie was that this kid who got caught, or one of his act got recorded in the CCTV camera, and which goes viral, where he was conducting or doing something obscene, and because of which their whole family was shamed off. And then the whole story unfolded where father has to go into a whole long battle of justifying and kind of bringing out the kind of gaps and loopholes in the sex education in the society, in the community. And guys, the way we can connect it through the astrology is that many times I keep on getting these consultations specifically from the Indian families only, where kids are getting spoiled, or kids who are still in high school and they are getting distracted towards drugs, towards smoking, towards alcohol, towards sexual relationship as well. So what could be the signs which could tell about that? Is this something which is going to be a part of the kid's life forever, or this is going to be just a problem of adolescent age, or is it something which is just a personality flaw which could be overcome through some sort of guidance, through some sort of counseling, or it is responsible because of some karmic problem in the chart which needs to be appeased through some ritual. So that is something which we will try to understand and discuss in this video. Like guys, why I mentioned a difference between the traditional communities, or let's say for example Indian families, and comparing it with the West. So generally what happens is that in the West, in majority of the cases, generally the problem comes is about where there is not that much of the social glue which you will find in the society. And second thing is that drugs and other issues and other problems, where if someone or if a kid has grown seeing that abuse all around him, so then definitely chances tend to remain very high that kid might develop these kind of latent problems, tendencies, and then it's a whole lot of snowball effect of that. But here I'm just talking about that someone where both the parents, they do not have had any of the history of these sort of abuse or these sort of misguided behavior, but now they are having problem in dealing with the rebelliousness or misguided or deluded behavior of their kids. So how can we connect it or see it through Vedic astrology? That is something which we will try to do over here. So yes guys, to begin with this whole discussion, so there are certain points which I have mentioned over here, over which we will have our discussion. So guys, the very first thing which you have to see in the chart of the kid is that what is the dignity and state of the ascendant and ascendant lord, because ascendant lord will tell about the prakriti, nature of the kid. What even if the hormones are changing, body is changing, or even if the kid is under some sort of malefic guidance or influence, we have to first understand the natural interest, desires, and kind of personality of someone. And over there, what kind of planets are placed in the ascendant, where the ascendant lord has gone, that will definitely give you idea about the personality of someone. So let's say, for example, if you will find that planets like Mars is placed in the first house, Rahu is placed in the first house, ascendant lord has gone to the 8th house and it is strengthened over there, ascendant lord has gone to the 12th house, ascendant lord has gone to the 5th house, then definitely it can give rise to a curiosity and confusion around the sex, around these kind of lascivious thoughts or curiosity in the opposite sex, or this could be same sex, based on the sexual orientation. So we have to first understand the personality of the kid. We have to understand the kind of what could be the natural kind of temptations towards a kid could get drawn towards. So that is the very first thing, guys, where a whole overall scrutinization of the chart will give you this indication. Now definitely if you will find that ascendant lord has gone to the 6th house, it is very strengthened over there, then definitely this could make the child very adamant as well, very stubborn as well. So that is the one thing that looking at the ascendant or ascendant lord will give you this overall indication. Now guys, after that, the second point which I have mentioned over here is that you have to see in which dignity moon is placed in the chart. Now guys, definitely moon which tells about your thought process, moon which tells about in which direction you are thinking, but over and above that, moon also represents childhood. What kind of experiences a person is going to have growing up or in his childhood is something which we see from the moon. So what primarily you have to see is that in which house moon is placed and in which sign moon is placed, because that will definitely give you this indication that yes, wherever moon is placed, somehow your emotions, your feelings are attached in the prospects of that house. Like guys, it's very simple. Let's say for example, for a Cancer Lagna, a lot many times I have seen these kind of rebelliousness in the personality, too much of the curiosity and indulgences in alcohol and sex. You'll be surprised in the case of the Cancer Lagna kids. Like if you will find that malefic planets are placed in the first house, and moon being ascendant lord has gone to the 12th house, moon being ascendant lord has gone to the 8th house. So definitely, because moon is where your mind is, moon also represents your childhood. So now because moon has gone to the 8th house, it's already very confused, it's already very deluded, and over and above that, external factors, all the temptations and kind of I would not call it sins, but definitely all the temptation and distractions of the life are very easy to entrap you. So the house and the sign placement of moon is something which you have to give attention. After that, you have to see the conjunction on the moon. Guys, over here I will not give much emphasis to the aspect which moon is receiving, because aspect can actually mold your behavior or change your personality. It will only keep on exerting its external influence. But if a planet is conjunct with your moon, that means that energy is all the time surrounding you. And definitely guys, Mars is a planet which can make someone very adamant, very stubborn. Rahu is the chief planet of wrong company, wrong choices, wrong sort of thoughts, abusive kind of language. So because of which you have to see a house and sign placement of moon, you have to see conjunction of the moon, and you have to also see the nakshatra of the moon. That becomes very important, because guys, definitely there are certain nakshatras, like when we talk about nakshatra like Ardra, that can actually create a lot of problems, specifically in the case of rebelliousness of the teenagers, of the adolescent age kids. So Adra is a nakshatra, and even to an extent like Mula nakshatra can also create a lot of issues, and like all the nakshatras which have got too much of the dynamism, and specifically Sadbhisha nakshatra can be a chief obstruction causing a nakshatra, when it comes down to having a very kind of very sane behavior or having a very disciplined life. So Sadbisha, Adra, Mula, these are certain nakshatras. And also guys, we cannot even forget that it's only because of the moon nakshatra or the lord of the moon nakshatra that your dasha gets decided. So because of which in which house and sign your moon is placed, which all are the planets which are conjunct with the moon, and lastly the nakshatra of the moon. After that guys, you have to give attention to the second house and the fourth house. Now why these two houses? Because these two houses tells about your experiences of the childhood. Now again guys, this is what the power of astrology is. If your planets are making these kind of combination, it hardly matters. Both of your like you being like, I'm considering you as an adult parent watching this video, you might have got a very disciplined, very virtuous life, or a very very good you know kind of childhood, and this is what the case with your wife is or your partner is. But let's say for example your child is demonstrating some very erratic, very eccentric kind of behavior, too many of the idiosyncrasies. So because of which it's the second house and the fourth house in the chart of the kid which will give you this information about his temptations, about the curiosity and the childhood experiences. So majority of the abuse or bad company, bad behavior, assault generally happens if you will find second house and fourth house to be afflicted. And guys, the beauty of these two houses is that they do not only tell about your childhood experience, they also play a very pivotal role in shaping up your life. So I still remember I was watching this movie, I forgot the name, so where this guy, it was a real-time story where this person who in childhood was being harassed by someone connected with a religious institution, and later on when he was giving his interview, so he said this thing that it's not only about being assaulted as a child, it's about being robbed of my faith and of my religion. So yes guys, so whatsoever happens in the second house and fourth house, that stays with you, and that reflects your dealing with other people growing up, like growing up in other relationship as well. It also has a toll, it also has an impact over there as well. A lot many times when I meet people, like for example someone who's got a Gemini Lagna and Jupiter being exalted in the second house, you will definitely, right, looking at the chart, you can say this thing that this person might have got a very disciplined, very virtuous, very well cultured upbringing. So yes guys, this is one thing where the condition of the second house and fourth house you have to give attention to. Again guys, it's the planetary vibrations around us which kind of makes us a part of the law of attraction. What kind of you know thoughts you will attract, what kind of other hobbies, interests and other energies you will attract towards you, all of that we will get to know about the after looking at the second house and the fourth house. After that guys, the next point which I have written over here is that you have to also see in the chart that whether the problem is coming because of the karmic issue or personality disorder. Now guys, it's a very sensitive thing. See, when we talk about personality disorder, like anything to do with the delayed learning, anything to do with the interest in this could be alcohol, bad company, bad thoughts, lascivious thoughts, this could be anything. So if the chart is not karmic in nature, through therapy, through counseling, through good habits, you can actually work over there. But when the issues are karmic in nature, now when I say karmic in nature, let's say for example you are a Cancer Lagna, Ketu is placed in the first house, and ascendant lord moon has gone to the like for example in the 8th house in the like Sadbisha nakshatra, then it's a concern. Or let's say for example you are a you are a Taurus Lagna, and in your case moon becomes your like third house lord, and it has gone to the 12th house and it is placed in the Ashwini nakshatra. So there are certain combinations. Or let's say for example you have got Aries Lagna, Rahu is placed in the first house, Ketu is placed in the 7th house, all the planets are in the axis of Rahu and Ketu forming a Kalsarp yoga, and moon nakshatra is also of Rahu. So then these kind of alignments just indicate that, and just because moon nakshatra is of Rahu, so that it means that depending on the pada of the moon, the child will go through the dasha of Rahu first, and Rahu is placed in the first house. Rahu's Lord Mars for Aries Lagna, if that is also placed in the 8th house, 6th house, 12th house, so then it itself means that yes, chart is very karmic and issues cannot be resolved only through counseling or therapy. So you have to resort to some sort of ritualistic measures as well. Now again guys, I cannot say it from the Western point of view or from any other religion's point of view. I respect, honor all the religion, but when it comes down to the Indian and the Vedantic and Hindu point of view, so there are certain rituals like Pitra Dosh Shanti ritual, you can get it done. Or if you are in the Rahu Mahadasha, so you can get a proper japa done for the Rahu. Like the way we say this thing, that if the affliction is caused by Rahu and Ketu. So for Ketu, you can do the small rituals, like for example, Maharudrabhishek or any of the Vishnu Sahasranam, Sundarakand Path, you can keep on doing it. But for the Rahu, you have to get the proper big Anushtan, big ritual. Like 3 priests have to do the Mahamrityunjaya Jap for a certain number of count, which could be in 100,000s. So that is the only reason that if the overall chart is indicating issues which are karmic in nature, like 9th house is afflicted or 9th house Lord is afflicted, Ketu is there, so then it means that the problem is beyond your control, or there is a third power related concern which can only be appeased through this. And again guys, if there are these kind of yogas, so it's not a one-stop solution. This is something which now you have to make a part of your lifestyle, that if your child is showcasing these kind of eccentricities or personality disorder or unusual problems and issues, then you have to make it a part of your lifestyle, that in every holy month of Shravan, you have to get the Rudrabhishek done. On every like full moon, new moon, you have to do certain items which you have to do the donations of that. So then guys, you have to blend your life as per the planetary appeasement, rather than thinking that you will just do one ritual once a year and that will be one stop solution. So yes, so you have to first look at the chart and you have to judge it. Is the problem being caused by, or which could be resolved through some counseling therapy, or there are some karmic issue which can only be resolved through doing the proper rituals. After that guys, Rahu and Mars. Now like whenever we talk about these kind of rebelliousness or perversiveness in the behavior, or where the child is not very much focused on the study, or always distracted by wrong company, wrong choices, smoking, drinking and all these things, then Rahu and Mars plays the strongest role in all these kind of distracted behavior. Definitely guys, Rahu is the chief planet which is responsible for bad company, bad thoughts, abusive language, interest in all these things, and distractions, confusion, illusion. And when it comes down to Mars, Mars actually is the planet which can make someone very adamant, which can make someone very rebel. And because Mars, same like Mercury, also has a say over the friends as well, over your brotherhood as well. So all the teenage, adolescent age bravery, rebelliousness can be attached with the Mars as well. So if these two planets are getting strengthened, they are active in the dasha, they have influence on the ascendant or on the moon, then definitely they need to be appeased through therapy or counseling. So Mars can be worked with the counseling, but for Rahu you need to resort to some ritual as well. After that guys, a dasha becomes very important. So this could be a case that this is not how your kid is going to be forever. This is just a phase where he is going through or passing through, because guys, you cannot even overlook this fact that when we talk about even Rahu, the chief problem causing planet, immediate after Rahu comes the dasha of the Jupiter. And this is very good, because in teenage you might have got distracted because of Rahu, but once you will reach the right age of establishing your career, you will be in the dasha of Jupiter, a planet which represents good fortune. And at the middle age you will be in the dasha of the Saturn, which will give you all sort of opportunities, because Saturn represents maturity. So, and lastly guys, when it comes down to remedies, so I would say that specifically for all the people who believe in the Hindu Vedic ritual and remedies, specifically the worship of Lord Ganesha becomes very, very auspicious, because Lord Ganesha represents over your education, and in the Kali Yuga, Lord Ganesha is very easy to appease, to make peace with. So if your kid is showcasing any of these eccentric behavior, erratic behavior, so the worship of Lord Ganesha, like I would say that the worship of Lord Ganesha is not only going to put right set of ideas, thoughts, right thinking, and removing all the obstacles. And definitely guys, whether it's Rahu, whether it's Ketu, whether it's Mars, all the planets can be tamed through just seeking refuge in the Lord Ganesha. And lastly guys, if there is any affliction to the moon, or if there are any of the karmic issue in the chart, this could be Kal Sarp dosha, this could be planets in the Gandant or any of those yogas, then Lord Shiva proves to be, seeking refuge in Lord Shiva's bhakti generally proves to be very therapeutic. So yes guys, these are certain points which I wanted to mention over here. Like if I were to share my own chart as well, one thing which actually worked in my favor was that I have always been very devout and very religious with all the ritual. Like I have been keeping fast for Lord Shiva even when I was like 2nd or 3rd grade. But because I have Rahu in my first house, my moon nakshatra is Rahu, and the Lord of Rahu, Mars, from the first house is placed in the 8th house. So even irrespective of having all the bad company, bad thought process, engaging in all the unethical acts, it's only because of my devotion which kept on protecting me and kept me on the right path. But yes guys, this is something which was very important. I was just watching the review of this movie which recently got released, and based on my experience with the consultation, doing consultation for all the kids, all the parents who have been going through hard times dealing with the rebelliousness of their kids, I thought making this video and discussing all these yogas is very important. So yes guys, for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.